This is FightFans Radio.
What's going on, everybody? This is the BJJ Addict Radio. I'm the host, David Carroll, along with Jeroel.
What's up? What's up?
Guys, right off the bat, we got Alberto Crane live. Alberto, how are you?
Doing great. Doing great, guys. Great to be here.
Thanks for coming on the show.
You're welcome.
Yeah, this is the first ever time that we've started a show with somebody on right away, so this is pretty cool. Let's just get right into it, and let's go back to where were you the first time you tried Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu?
I was in a small town in New Mexico. It's a place called Santa Fe, New Mexico, and I was working at a restaurant, and like a bunch of the guys there were doing it. There was a guy teaching it once a week, and then he ended up doing it twice a week, and they were trying to get me to do one class for like 6 months. And then one of the guys that was in there, his name is Easton. You know, he lives in Colorado, and you know, old school, handler Gracie black belt. They finally convinced me to go, and once I did one class, I was hooked, and the rest is history. That was 94.
1994, and then man. So, what do you think it is about jiu-jitsu that it seems everyone has that feeling? All it takes is one class, and it changes your whole life.
Man, like it depends on the person, but just all kinds of things. Like I mean, for me, being a dad now, and I have a family, and just a lot of things going on. Like I mean, for me, it's like you forget about everything. It's like meditation, So it's like like relaxing for me, like stress relief, and besides that, of course, like a great workout, and just the camaraderie, like the brotherhood. It's amazing, It makes you feel good. It's just healthy for the mind, body, and soul. Good
point. How long after your sessions in Albuquerque did you take off to Brazil? Because I did my studying before you came on, and it looks like you just moved to Brazil.
Yeah, my really good friend Easton, he went down to Brazil first. He went to Rio, went to Barra, and trained at the Gracie Barra, and was there for 6 months. And he came back, and we trained in his garage for 6 months, and he would show me all these techniques, and because back in the day there wasn't that much information out there, right? So he was showing me all these things, and I was like, okay, I got to go. I'm going to go. And so 6 months later, after he went back, I was like, okay. So I went, and I went there for about 6 months, and I went to Rio, and I lived in Baja, trained at Gracie Baja, and at Tracolino when I was there, and I was like, man, this guy's the man, and I went and visited his school in Belo Horizonte, the one he was just starting out, and it was just whites and a few blues. And I was like, man, I love it. I love it here, And so I went back to the States, and my mom, I actually came back again to keep eating the second, I think it was the second world that they had in 97. And my mom was like, you can't just be going back and forth. If you're going to go, you might as well just stay there for a while. And I was like, okay, sounds good to me. So I just saved up some money and then just went down there. I ended up staying over there for almost 3 years, and came back, and I was like, well, where do I want to go? And I was trying to figure it out. And Santa Fe, New Mexico, has always been like it's like my family's from there, so it felt like home. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to Santa Fe. It was a little town, but I love it there, So I ended up going to Santa Fe and started my first school there. And I had an amazing school, a lot of tough guys, jiu-jitsu world champs, and UFC guys and tough guys and all kinds of tough guys, So we did a lot of good things.
That's amazing. So going down to Brazil, you get to train under Carlos Jr. and Draculino. What does that do for somebody starting off jiu-jitsu, or what has that done for you, period?
You know, once I went to, it was awesome, like going to the, Gracie Baja and like all these amazing black belts there. A lot of foreigners, not a lot, but like if you're a foreigner, you ended up in Rio, right? So there were a lot of, like, they call them gringos, right, coming through. And I met Chuckalino, and when I went with Chuckalino, I ended up going to the Belo Horizonte, and I ended up staying there because I just loved him and loved, like, just the guys and just the environment that he created there. But man, what can I say? Jiu-jitsu is like, it's everything to me. It's done so much for me. It's done so much I can't even explain it. Like my wife, just everything that I do in life, confidence and just perseverance, you name it. I use it like every day. The lessons that I've learned on the mat.
Oh man, that's just wicked. You are the first American to receive your black belt from Gracie Baja. That must have been a huge honor, and even I wasn't in the sport then or paying attention. Was this a huge deal amongst the community?
When back in the day, I didn't pay attention to it, but now just Gracie Baja, it's the biggest association in the world. Has the most black belts. It's the biggest jiu-jitsu association, and so I asked Marcio Fricosa, I was like, man, who's the first black belt? And they did the research because I thought I was, I wasn't sure though. He's like, yeah, you were, so it's pretty cool, and I do feel honored, and it does make it, it's pretty cool, just because I was there back in the day, competing for Gracie Baja and just, going through the ranks, down in Brazil, and so it's definitely special,
Yeah.
Sorry, at what age and belt level did you just start to continue your passion in the sport?
As far as like make it a career path?
Yeah.
Good question. I was 23, and I came back from Brazil. After going back and forth and living there for like almost 3 years. So I have an older sister. She's almost 3 years older than me, and she was graduating from college. And she told me, after I went to her graduation, and she told me, she's like, listen, I don't know what I want to do. I don't know what I want to do as a career and for work and things like that. She's like, what you want to do, keep doing it, because I was getting a lot of pressure from my parents, and like they're all big time educators, and just going to finishing, getting my degree, and that's all I needed to hear, from my older sister. And ever since she said that to me, I was like, yeah, you're right, because I was crazy about it. That's all I thought about. That's all I did, competing everywhere I could. Anywhere there was a tournament, I would travel to it, and it was, I ate, breathed, and slept it, So she was like, yeah, that's, what you want to do. And so I was like, okay, thanks, sis. And I never looked back after that.
Wow. So you make you make a transition into MMA. For those that don't know, you made it to the UFC. For those that also don't know, you've won the world at black belt. Which one's a bigger pinnacle in your career? Getting the world championship in BJJ or fighting in the UFC?
My goal was to get my black belt, obviously, and I wanted to win the world. I wanted to be a black belt world champion, and that was my goal. And for I don't know how many years, and I did both, and that was I was like, man. After that, I was really happy, and then I started fighting, all around at the same time. Then I stopped. I stopped competing and fighting and just focused on running my school and stuff, and just making it a good business, because like, man, I got to be able to support a family, so I'm gonna do this with my life, and not just that, but just my students. I've got to be a good role model and example for them. I can't be not making money, not doing well with my business. So I really focus on the business, because the UFC actually stopped the lightweight division, right, for a couple of years, until they started the Ultimate Fighter, because it was about to go under. And then I got a couple of invites to fight in the UFC, and kind of going on tangent, but for a couple of years they didn't have the UFC in my division, and then they started it up again. And then the matchmaker for the UFC was like, "Hey man, you want to fight in the UFC?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I wasn't like competing, because I was competing for I think about 10 years, like every month, either fighting or competing in jiu-jitsu. And so I took a couple of years off, like hiatus, just focusing on that. And I was like, yeah, I just had unfinished business. I saw Matt Serra, like win the Ultimate Fighter show and then get a title shot. I saw Travis Lutter. Those guys are like old jiu-jitsu friends of mine, I looked up to them. I was like, man, like I have unfinished business, so I was like, all right. So I moved to Los Angeles, got married, and my wife got pregnant. We made a deal. We would have our kids, that we move out here. She moved out to New Mexico, and she's Armenian, and so her culture was really important to her. So I was like, okay. I shook on it and followed through on my end, and we ended up in LA. And so all my team and all my like my training and everything was definitely different. I had to kind of start from scratch. So I was out here in LA, but I wanted to fight in the UFC, and so I kept waiting, and then boom, I jumped in and got Roger Ware to my first fight, and it was definitely surreal. Surreal, like you watch the UFCs for years and years and years, like over probably when was it, 2007, like 10 years on TV, and you see yourself on the big screen at Mandalay Bay walking down the thing, and you're like, whoa, So they're both like I can't compare them, they're just so different, and I'm definitely proud of both, so I can't even compare them, they're just different.
Yeah.
Like the fight game is different from the jiu-jitsu a little bit, because there's just so many factors that go into that, like your opponents, and just so many things that you can't control, so you never know, But jiu-jitsu, I think you can do a lot more things to make it happen, but they're just so different, so can't really compare them. They're both like, I wouldn't trade the experiences for the world, so I'm just grateful to have them.
Does the UFC jitters really exist, by the way?
Man, for me, I definitely had them, I hadn't fought for, I don't know, like 2.5 years or something before I did the UFC. I should have done a smaller show, and I've always thought I'm able to control my head, but for sure, I got a big old adrenaline dump, my second round, I was done, it happens, like Holes Gracie happened with him, people are talking, oh, he's out of shape and this, that, but man, until you're in there and you don't know, and you saw some of these other guys, like I think even Dan Henderson when he came back from Pride, and some of the other guys, they don't look that good coming in, so it's definitely there, and it definitely exists.
Yeah. So how you went back and you said that you wanted to check if you were the first American to get your black belt. You actually look into a lot for Americans winning worlds, and it always goes BJ Penn and then Rafael Lovato Jr. Are you not really the second ever American to win the worlds, or?
I am, I'm not like a big talker or anything, but I am, me and BJ, I beat, the guy that I beat. I closed the bracket with Marcio Petroza, and Marcio's he's the the man, you know. And so like, you know, like the what do you call it, the etiquette, you know, in the schools, you know, like the tradition rather, is, you know, you close the bracket when you're from the same school. So I closed the bracket with him. So, you know, on the official thing, you know, you got first, and I actually got like third on the thing, but we all closed the bracket. But I beat the champ, you know, the guy that won the next year and the following year, you know, Daniel Moraes. You know, he won the 2003, 2004, you know. So, but I got the gold medal in my school. Says black belt on it, you know, and I beat the guy that I needed to beat. So, you know, and in purple and blue, you know, like I went against the best, and you know, the guy that year that won the featherweight and the middleweight, you know, I had wins over them both. So, you know, good enough for me. You know, not too bad for an American guy. So,
I was just gonna say, man, I think we said it here live. I think the history book should be rewritten a bit, and your name should be added in that. I always thought before I got to speak to you here that you were the second ever American, but it just never gets mentioned. I think that's kind of crap in my books, man. I think you should get some you know, acknowledgement for that, though.
Thanks. Yeah, I need to put it out there more, you know, and yeah, I need to put it out there, you know, because I showed Rafael Lovato my gold medal with the black belt on it at the airport, you know.
Yeah.
You know, when they were flying back to the States, you know. But yeah, you know, it is what it is, you know.
Yeah.
So I definitely need to market and put it out there, you know, more.
Yeah, I agree. You should definitely put it
But
out there.
you know, I feel the way I feel, like, you know, it's my goal and I did it, and you know, that's all that matters, you know. But definitely should market it there. Because back in the day there weren't that many, you know, non-Brazilians like doing anything right at the world, so it was a big
Absolutely.
deal.
So you recently made a comeback to competing. What sprung that, and how does it feel now to compete, say, compared to when you were competing 10 years ago?
Man, I've got a lot of things on my plate, you know. Like I've got 3 kids now and a wife, and you know, like some schools and stuff, some businesses.
How many schools?
You know, I'm in Burbank. You know, that's my main spot. But I also teach in Hollywood, and I'm involved with a few other schools in Los Angeles area. You know, but Burbank is my main spot. But I definitely do. I'm in some other schools, but I love it. You know, obviously, and so try to you know, make the stuff grow, right? Get people training, get them on the mat. But the difference now than 10 years ago is that's all I was doing. You know, that's all I thought about. You know, so I've got a lot of other stuff on my plate, and what got me motivated to like get back into it is I don't know. You know, like just it's been 5 years. It was 5 years before I did it. You know, and I stopped doing jiu-jitsu tournaments just because I had a lot of bad habits from the sport jiu-jitsu, you know, like with the point systems and just, you know, doing certain things so you win, you know, for MMA, you know, and I had a lot of bad habits and I wanted to break them, and I felt like, you know, I've been doing MMA, just like really focused on my MMA jiu-jitsu, you know, for a while, and so like, man, I wanna do. I was getting the itch, you know. It's been like a year, and it seemed like every time I was gonna do it, you know, do something came up, you know. So I was like, all right, then that Masters Seniors thing came up, you know, for this month, like this summer, and I was like, okay, perfect, that's it, you know. So I put that on my calendar, and then I was like, all right, I need to get out there and do a couple tournaments, you know, get this thing down again, you know. So I did the Vegas, you know, the International IBJJF Open, and then I won the Open there, and then did the what was the next one? American Nationals, the IBJJF American Nationals, and won my division. So it was cool. It was fun.
Do you think your style has changed significantly since becoming a black belt, say from you know, when you were a purple belt?
You know, back in the day, from going from purple to black, did my game change?
Yeah.
You know, like my game was real similar. I just kind of perfected like the game. You know what I mean? I kind of added like levels. You know. So actually, when I was a purple belt, my game was real similar to when I was, you know, competing as a black belt. You know. You know, I did like the deep half guard. Like nobody I think I invented it actually. You know, like I tried. You know, I was talking to Gordon, like, who did it before me? He's like, man, nobody. You know, like they even have a thing on that Sport TV that they had in Brazil. You know, with the old school, like they did old school. You know, they did jiu-jitsu. You know, on their thing. But deep half guard, and I was doing a lot of the cross guard. You know, but I just kind of kept getting better at it. You know, to black belt. You know, but I did like a similar game.
You still play with the deep half guard?
I'm sorry.
Do you still play with the deep half guard?
You know, I do. I do. I don't do it as much. You know, I don't like to be. Guys are, you know, they're good guys are, you know, real savvy and just you kind of suffer a lot in that position now. Right? It was easy before, you know. You would just shoot guys and they didn't know what the hell you're doing. But now, like, it seems like everybody does it, you know.
You put out a very successful book and DVD in jiu-jitsu a while ago. Were you ever thinking about coming out and putting your stamp of approval on, say, another DVD or an app or anything, you know, to get your name still out there?
Yeah, for sure. You know, I've got some really good positions, you know, that like I feel like I'm the best in the world at, you know. So definitely, I'm working on that, you know, to put out some new stuff, you know, that I've been working on for you know, for that like a lot of people can use. Yeah, the book that I did, you know, like when was that? 7 years ago. It was it went really well. It was like the #1 book. It was actually in Japan, right? But it was in English also, so they sold it out here. But I guess it was like the #1 book when it came out. I sold like the Gracie and the Machado book that they had at the time, which was really popular. So that was pretty cool, you know.
Yeah, well,
American
we hope you get some stuff out.
What's that?
I said we hope you get some stuff out because, man, me and Jer here, we love when people put out stuff that we look up to. It keeps us, you know, always learning, right?
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, definitely will.
Nice. I actually got a question. From a teacher standpoint, I know as much as you love it, how do you keep it interesting to yourself or stay motivated after you've shown, say, like a basic mount for the last 15 years or the first armbar?
How do I stay motivated to show the same thing?
Or you don't get bored yourself?
I'm sorry?
Or so you don't get bored yourself while you're teaching it?
Right. I mean, I look at it as from, you know, like the student's perspective. If, you know, if I'm showing like a basic, you know, mount escape or something, if I'm showing it to like a, you know, like a private student, for example, or something like that, you know, I look at it from their perspective, like, you know, how excited they're going to get. And that gets me excited, I guess, you know, just that they're excited to learn, you know, learn the art and just, you know, like seeing them, I guess, grow, you know, it's rewarding. You know, that's what definitely motivates me. You know, seeing the results and seeing what people get out of it and see how it changes people's lives. That's what gets me up and gets me excited. You know, I got my son training now, like for the last couple of months, you know, and yeah, it's awesome. You know, it's awesome to see the change and the transformation in people's lives.
Nice. Is it something you have to teach yourself, or is it something that you always had instilled with you? Because you seem to be a family man. To put your family first, opposed to BJJ, is that something hard? Because nowadays, youngsters are younger people are making this a career, but basically that's all they do, and they almost don't have a life per se.
You know, like you know, I struggle with it. You know, like you know, she asks my wife, I'm not home enough. You know, but I definitely pay attention to it. You know, and I have to definitely be really disciplined. You know, and like it comes from, you know, just doing the jiu-jitsu doing the jiu-jitsu, and I have to be disciplined with my time. You know, like that's you're asking me before, like one of the first questions, like what the difference is. You know, now my jiu-jitsu than like 10 years ago, it's my time. You know, I just don't have as much time, and so you know, I have to, you know, take off my jiu-jitsu hat and then go home and, you know, put my dad hat on and just have to make sure everybody gets their time, you know, because as you guys know, you know, You know, like I could be at the gym like all day and all night long every day. You know, so yeah, like it was one of the Sundays I was training. On. I just happened to go on a Sunday to train, and all the guys at the gym, like even the sales guy, everybody that was at the gym, ended up showing up on that day just randomly. Like, oh, I just came in to see what was going on. So that was kind of cool, that they want to be there, they want to be there even on their day off. It's a good culture. It's a good problem, right? A good thing, good culture that you have.
Has there ever been a time where you wanted to just, do jiu-jitsu?
Stop doing jiu-jitsu.
Just because, like, you thought you weren't going to be as successful as you were today?
Let's see. Like I definitely was questioning myself. Like, man, what am I doing? But I just gave it my all. I set some goals for myself, and that's what kept me going. And persevered through whatever that I put in my head, and I think maybe that's the only time. Ever since I've been teaching, I really love teaching, and I really love, like I said, just seeing what it does with people. So I think that's what feeds my soul. It makes me happy. And actually, when I first moved to LA, I wasn't teaching. Like I had some private students, but I didn't have a school, and it made me realize how big of a part of even my training. What my motivation is that the teaching does or is for me. Because I didn't have a school for the first time. Since I started my school in like 2000. A decade. Over a decade ago. That was the first time I didn't have a school for it was a couple of years that I was out here where I didn't do that, But it's a big part of, I guess, who I am, what motivates me.
Of course. With that being said, I was thinking, Carlos Jr. or Draculino, they have a lot of famous students, including yourself. Who are some that came under you that have their own black belts or a name per se?
A lot of people that maybe you guys haven't heard, but there was a girl, female. She was like in her late 30s. And, her name is CJ. She was actually the first American. Remember the girl Erica Montoya? I don't know if you know who she was. She was the blue. But they were the first. They won it the same year. But CJ, she was the first American girl, female, to win the world. The Mundials. And some of the guys that came out of my school, like Quinn Mulhern, he's fights in Strike Force right now. Don Ortega, he's been to Abu Dhabi a couple times. He won that Fila grappling. When he was a blue belt, he fought UFC vet Brad Gum in one of our local shows. Who else came out of the gym? I guess Isaac Valley Flag. He just beat Jay-Z Cavalcante. Dan Christensen. He started with us over there. Like Kate Fletcher, we spent a lot of time with him. And now like in the UFC, like Jared's in the UFC, and I got some up and coming guys, that I'm building out here, so you have to watch and see so I can brag about jiu-jitsu guys.
Yeah. How does it feel being a coach and seeing these people try to reach similar success that you've had and that you're being a part in them reaching their goals?
How does it feel?
Yeah.
Oh man, like I said, those are my roots, so that's what feeds me, that's what feeds me, and I was busy working, like doing this school business stuff, but I'm getting back to my roots, like building champions and just putting out top level jiu-jitsu and just being on the mat, being on the mat all day and just figuring stuff out and watching tape and breaking stuff down with my guys and some different things, some like cool jiu-jitsu, stuff that I feel like, what the hell did you just do, So but just seeing the guys, that's what I live for, that's what I live for. Just seeing the guys do well and stuff they and they're old, like, you know, they'll look back and they'll never forget it, you know, until they die, you know, the experiences. That's what I live for.
Nice. You said creating champions. Do you think running a Gracie Baja school that you have a certain expectation, or you're supposed to create champions or very great students of jiu-jitsu? Do you feel that pressure while you're teaching people, or does it just happen organically?
Yeah, it's just who I am, you know. It's just who I am. Like, that's what makes me happy, you know. That's what feeds me, you know. I don't think there's that expectation at all. I think definitely, like, you know, having a professional school where anybody can walk in and feel safe and not feel like they're going to get beat up. But as far as like building, you know, tough guys and building champions, like that's what I love. That's what I love, you know. That's what feeds me.
Nice. On your own personal training side, actually, I was just curious, what are some things you've been drilling on your own?
Some
Is there
positions.
something you're obsessed with right now?
You know, definitely like a lot of the, you know, like the Rodolfo, like his passes and you know, the Mendez brothers, some of their positions, you know, and even Marcelo too, you know, some of his little tricks, you know. But also just perfecting the stuff that I've been doing, you know, just trying to do that, do it better, you know, with some of the newer games and things like that, you know. But definitely like all these passes, you know, that he does, and just controlling the guy's hips, and yeah, that kind of.
Do you ever pass like Rodolfo when you're not Rodolfo's strength or size, or is his technically so great it doesn't matter what size you are?
Can you do the same? Can you do the same thing as Rodolfo?
Yeah, I'm asking if it's harder not being Rodolfo's size.
I mean, for sure, if you're a powerhouse like him, like it's gonna be easier, right? But he does a lot of like good technical stuff, you know. If you look closely, you know, like the way he controls people, that you know, that anybody can use, yeah. And he does like the technique perfect. So
Nice.
yeah, anybody can do it.
Do you still compete in MMA as well?
You know, I have unfinished business, but I have a family too. So God willing, you know, I still want it. I still want to get my hand raised in the, you know, I still want to go to the UFC again. But you know, only God knows, you know. But I'm still training, and I still train my guys. I have a fight team that I train, and I'm in there with them, and you know, where I'm always like studying tape and, you know, trying to figure stuff out too with them. So I'm still in there, you know. And I would like to again, but only God knows, you know, because I have my family to take care of too, you know, and it takes a lot of sacrifices, you know, to do it. Especially like, you know, the fighting stuff too, the MMA, you know, it's not just jiu-jitsu, it's like everything, and you get hit, and you walk around kind of funny, you know, so it's a little bit different, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely a whole nother ball game. One last thing before we let you go. I was wondering who you got between the Roger Gracie Buchecha fight for this big Metamoris super fight.
But you know, I'm gonna go with Roger. You know, just because it's Roger. You know, but you know, anything can happen. Anything can happen. But I just think the basics are just good, and especially with that kind of rules. You know, I definitely favor his Roger. You know. But he's been training a lot of MMA, you know, so maybe Buchecha's got a chance. So we'll see. I'm excited to see. I mean, those rules are awesome. It's what jiu-jitsu is all about, right?
I was just going to
really
ask that. Do you think there actually will be a lot of finishes this night, even though it's 20 minutes? Do you still think there's going to be a lot of subs, or do you think it might be a lot of draws that night?
You know, I always think positive, you know, so I think there's going to be submissions, you know, so I want to believe that there is, you know. But you know, we'll see, you know. I have a feeling there will be some, but some are going to go the draw, but are going to go the distance and they'll become a draw. But I think there's a good chance, you know, especially some of those guys, like that's all they think about, you know. Yeah. Even the Galvin, the Galvin one, you know, like it can go either way, you know. Yeah, we'll see.
One last one, actually. I just want to see. I'm the only one so far that has picked Dean Lister to beat Zonde Ribeiro. Are you with me?
You can't do heel hooks. That's the only thing, and then it's with the gi too, and that's Shanji's main thing, So if it was no gi, I would definitely feel better about Dean, but the rules definitely favor Shanji. But Dean's tough, man. So it could go the distance, easily. So yeah.
Nice. Before we let you go, any last words or sponsors you want to thank, or just any last things you want to tell the listening?
Yeah, I want to thank you guys, for putting me on. It was fun to talk about all this jiu-jitsu, the history and things like that. But my students in my school, Gracie Baja in Burbank, and in Hollywood, and just Gracie Baja and my instructor Draculino, just for all the great years and good times, that I've had, It's and I look forward to many, many more.
Thank you very much. And maybe some last words to someone just getting started who's getting smashed in the gym and just scratching their head, wondering why they show up every night.
Just be patient. What's the saying goes? The saying, like first you're the nail, then you become the hammer. Just be patient. Don't get injured at the beginning. Just learn the technique, and then with a little bit of time, you're gonna be the guy, putting it on people. And then once you get that, you'll never quit.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you guys. Take
Thanks,
care.
Alberto.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
I think he's wrong on that one because I'm still a nail.
In the words of my boy Chris Bailey, he said, "Sometimes you're the nail, sometimes you're the hammer, and sometimes you're the sandwich." Because I got my own sandwich named after me. So that's what he said to me once when I told him I got the shit kicked out of me at a tournament. I got 4 matches and got subbed twice and beaten all 4, and that's what he gave me as like his great advice. So I'll never forget that. And sometimes you're the sandwich. Yes, folks, for you listening out there, I actually have my own sandwich called the Real DWC. It's a veggie sandwich. It has eggplant on it. I'm bigger than you know. Cock and So, Mr. Joel,
So
we can get started at the start of the show.
that was
what we usually do.
that was unique.
Unique unicorn.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I do before the show to practice like my speaking skills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ow, now, round cow.
Yeah, exactly. The skeleton was denied a bank loan. I stole that from Anchorman. But
I love that movie.
that's Bush.
Yeah.
It's Bush League, Audrey. No, Linlin?
Linlin?
Like sheep's wool?
Oh, Linen? Linen?
So, yeah, so basically, let's get back to... We'll do the start now.
All right.
All right, thanks to FightFans Radio for starting the show off right. Now, guys, seriously though, thanks for all the support lately. I think we've done that every time, but we've been nailing some great numbers, and it's due to the people, word of mouth, the Twitter community, everybody else there sharing all our stuff around, and I thank everyone. A lot of supporters lately. Check us all out, FightFans Radio, BJJ Addict, BJJ Addict Radio. We have everything. Yeah. All the social medias, guys, we're on there. You could find it. Just type in any one of those 3, and I'm telling you right now, you'll see us. Also, our personal Twitters,
Instagram.
Yeah, man. If you find our YouTube page, we have all the links there. Please subscribe to everything. Also, with that being said, let's move on with the show. Gerald,
Let's do it.
We trained today.
Yeah, we did
during the day before doing this wonderful radio show, which I freaking love so much. I'm trying not to drop the F-bomb because I've been told that it adds no extra. Like, it doesn't mean anymore. No. And if you say, like, I love class, and then I say, I effing love class, we both love class. So I'll try to stop swearing. So today, class, man, it was great. We had a roll together.
Yeah.
It's been, like, eons since we rolled together.
It's true.
Have you heard that word before? Eons?
Yeah, I heard it eons.
Oh, you clever little fox. Yeah, so how's rolling with me? Did I feel a bit stronger?
Yeah, actually,
I felt you were a little bit weaker.
I'm a little lighter than 2 weeks ago.
I know, it's odd. You almost look anorexic.
Yeah.
That's,
I'm trying to lose weight.
Yeah.
A lot of weight. So
nice.
we'll see. I don't know if it's such a good idea.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find the weight I want to compete at. So
that's always tricky, I find.
Right.
I had this discussion with someone recently that I've done some big tournaments. I competed at 154.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always lighter than that. You know, I feel good.
Yeah.
But I don't perform as well because I'm actually kind of weaker. 149, I compete all right. But I find optimal, like I feel unstoppable in the 139 or 135 class.
I think I want to fight at 55.
Yeah?
155.
You know, these are all things you got to test out.
Yeah.
It's a fail, what's it called?
Trial and error.
Yeah, so there we go. It's one of those things for competing at anything. So you got to find your own diet that works. I mean, I could give you my diet and you might actually put on weight. And I'm dropping weight like a dope fiend. It's who knows why. It's just the way we are set up. What was I going to say, man? Something really cool happened today. Oh, yeah, I swept you. No, I'm joking. But no, frig. Guys, if you guys are in the Ottawa region.
Yeah, you did sweep me.
Yeah. If you guys are in the Ottawa region, Ottawa, Canada's capital. For you those listening, it's not actually Toronto. Admar Barbosa will be coming to Team Bushido November 16th. It's going to be a friggin' huge deal. I mean, that's where we train, for you those that don't know.
Keep that in mind, November 16th.
I mean, if you haven't seen Admar, I mean, claim to fame, it is lame, but I think the reason he's put on this map, man, he smashed Gracie at the Pans a couple of years ago, beat him 11-0. This really opened everyone's eyes to, like, holy shit, like, who is this guy coming? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he was on fire since then. He's done a lot in the sport. Some of the best spider guard. You ever see his DVD?
Yeah.
Outlaw Jiu-Jitsu? Yeah, man. It's freaking good, eh?
Yeah. I reverted back to watching DVDs.
And have you picked stuff up lately?
Deep half. I'm going back to the deep half. That's probably why.
I'm glad to hear you want to play on the bottom again, finally.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, I also seen you had some love for this cool setup from Side Control from Kyle Terra.
Yeah.
So this is also off a DVD you've been watching, or?
Yeah, I just watched it on YouTube. I started
Okay.
looking up, different techniques and different moves.
Now, do you find, like, I remember when I started watching YouTube or some videos, and I'd sit there and I'd watch a clip, and I didn't grasp it.
See, I think...
But now after a couple of years, I see a move, and I actually could understand it.
You see, what I think the problem is that, let's say a white belt looks at doing, I don't know, something crazy, like a berimbolo. They haven't developed those skills to do those moves. So I think now it was good that I didn't watch it for a while.
Yeah.
But now, I'm able to see something and say, oh, I've been in that position before. I think I can apply from this move. And sometimes I think, too, is that they do something that isn't really their style.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you try to force that stuff because it's hot. Like, everyone's talking about it, and you just start doing it for no reason.
Yeah.
I agree. It's not your thing.
Yeah.
I love berimbolos.
Or not. It's not your thing yet because you haven't developed it.
That's right. You got to develop the basics to be able to do the more advanced. Everything stems off something. You got to have a good De La Riva game to do a berimbolo.
Like, my game, I used to play the bottom a lot. I'm starting to do that now, is the half guard.
Yeah.
There's a regular half guard. I was getting murdered.
Yeah.
But then, I think it was Chris Bailey that showed me the deep half guard.
Yeah.
Off of, and then I started playing with the deep half guard, and my half guard game got better.
Oh, just from practicing the other.
Deep half guard, yeah.
Nice. That's a good point. So the more knowledge you assume, obviously, something will tighten up.
Yeah.
That's a great point, actually. So, man, I was just going to say something before. Do you think we talk about berimbolos more than Rick Ross talks about Maybach?
Yeah, I think so.
Do we talk about berimbolos
It's important.
more than Jay-Z talks about Basquiat's? These are things I wonder. We do talk about this quite a bit. It for those of you who are listening, I mean, if you haven't tried it, I mean, let us know. If you think this is the dumbest move you've ever seen, let me know, because I'm fascinated with it. I feel like, I don't even know how to explain it, but like when I watch the move, or it's like when I'm watching You know, like remember like Saturday cartoons or something, whatever. Saturday cartoons as a child, like that's how I watched that move.
By the way, did you? I just found this out right now. Jay-Z's actually really good at jiu-jitsu. He's got 99 problems and jits ain't one.
Imagine that. I honestly thought you were gonna break news. Like honestly, I was like, holy crap, what is Jer gonna drop on the air?
There you go.
For those you know, we're talking about the Metamoris. If you just type in Metamoris Pro predictions or just the Metamoris Pro, all the countdowns are up now. Amazing shows to watch. We actually did our own the predictions.
Yeah.
And we got, you know, some good views. A lot of some haters on it, but you know, that's gonna happen with any YouTube video I think you put out there. People just want to hate.
It's criminal of them.
Oh my god.
I love the haters, baby.
Yeah, hate equals motivation, baby. You just said criminal makes me think of a certain man. So
yes,
past on our show, obviously Alberto Crane just on. He competed at the Masters, Worlds, and Seniors. Lost a ref's decision. You know, he didn't seem too happy about it, but it happens. But also past guests, we have Sergio Machado from Checkmate Brown Belt, checkmate, but he got a checkmate that day. He double medaled and he won the Worlds in his division. Huge. This was a goal of his when he was talking to us, and so congratulations to Sergio Machado. Also, Marcos
Zaragoza.
He actually, I was watching this one live. Like I watched his matches.
Yeah.
He looked sick. He beast moded it. In the finals, you know, before he got there, you know, the story was about Vitor Shaolin Ribeiro coming back. He's expected to just mop, you know, he's who he is because for a reason. And you know, Marcos is against him in the finals. And man, it was a sick match.
Vitor Shaolin's crazy, man.
He is. He was playing like a more reserved game, I find. Like it wasn't like insane.
Yeah.
It was sharp and sick and tight.
Marcos?
No,
Vitor?
Vitor. But he's like not like, you know, he's not 20 no more probably. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's different jiu-jitsu, but I actually found the Masters and Worlds super exciting to watch. And anyone who watched probably was like, this is sick.
There was a bunch of...
Because there's no 50-50 playing, stalling. Not that I find that even... I like the game personally. I like watching it, but I understand why people think it's boring sometimes if you stall. The Masters, no one stalled. It was go for like the whole time. Another thing was they only have five rounds.
Yeah.
So you don't have a 10-minute round to take your time. These guys go full tilt the whole match. Like Terragrossa in the Vitor fight, Terragrossa played bottom. Like Vitor didn't pass once. So it was a ref's decision. It didn't go his way. So shout out to him, man. Mad respect. It was a wicked fight to watch.
So you know what that means. If you come on our show, you'll end up becoming successful in the future.
Well, I don't want to take all the credit, but I was thinking that, you know? You got to think, like, after Keenan came on the show, he got his brown belt.
Yeah.
And he's been murdering everyone.
Exactly.
So, I mean, it could be us.
Guys, come on our show.
Like, think about it. Lloyd Irvin was on our show. No one knew who Lloyd Irvin was before he came on our show. Nah, we're just playing around. With that being said, remember to tune in next week. Hopefully they don't cancel or forget. I'll have to send out the email soon. But Mr. Roy Dean will be on next week.
Oh, man.
Do you think he'd be mad if I called him Roy Dizzle?
Roy Dizzle. I think he would, yeah.
Yeah, eh?
It probably.
All right, I'll just stick to Roy Dean. I think I just already offended people for calling him Roy Dizzle. It just had a good ring to it. So yeah, Roy Dean will be on next week for everyone, you know, paying attention and following what we do.
I think it's gonna be a smart show.
Yeah, I'm gonna re-up my knowledge just to speak to this man.
Asking the right questions, I think, is going to be very important.
Asking the right questions at exactly the right time.
Exactly.
Oh, man. Before we go, man, did you... I'm sure our producer here, Erica, saw it because she's a fan, mucho. But Mayhem Miller. Did you see him on MMA Fight called with Errol Hawani?
No.
Bro, meltdown.
Really?
Yeah, like he came on the show as the character Lucky Patrick or something from the movie coming out. Here's the Boom.
Mm-hmm.
That's you know, like he comes on the show and he's like talking to him like, "Hey, man," he's like, "Who's Mayhem?" And he's like, "I'm Lucky Patrick," but he literally I swear, like it was nuts. He thought he was Lucky Patrick.
We gotta watch this. After the show.
He like wrecks Errol Hawani's mics almost, like was pushing him around. Errol's like, "Relax," and he has a fit. Like, "You want to effing call me Mayhem?" You know, like loses his shit, walks off, calling him names. Yeah, we'll watch it after this. It is nuts.
What is this, like a?
You know, I don't know if it's a. I don't know.
Stuff?
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, because obviously
he's doing a movie
anytime
soon.
But like, yeah, it's coming out.
Yeah, it's probably
now.
why.
But I'm saying, like, if it's not, it's kind of sad to see the breakdown of a person. Like lately with him getting fired from UFC, the church thing.
The church thing.
He got arrested for being like nude or pissing in a church or something.
What?
Yeah, and then this. So you see signs of like maybe this dude seriously is like
spiraling down.
Yeah, exactly. You don't like to see that. Now, on the other hand, if this is just a bit, like, look, we're talking about it. Errol Hawani already got hundreds of thousands of views on YouTube over this. I'm sure he could take, you know, he doesn't give a shit. He's trying to be like, man, we've had good times. But, like, all the whole time you're thinking, this is the best thing I've ever captured.
Yeah.
You know? It's one thing to have just the audio, but he has the footage of him losing it.
Yeah.
Like, so if it is just an act, it was really good. Like, you're like sitting watching, like, holy shit, what's going on right now? Like, you know, on one side you're thinking like, wow, this is, and on the other, you're like, holy shit,
great.
I wonder if he's above Errol right in the face. You know? The whole time Errol must be like, this is the best thing.
He's got some pretty weird. His career, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Everything, man.
Yeah, but my favorite, hands down, is Bob Sapp just tearing him up.
Really?
Yeah, Errol Hawani basically tells him, like Bob Sapp gives an F. He tells him like, "Hey, I lost respect for you, Bob," because he takes so many dives, and Bob's like, "You don't give a shit. He makes 40K, 40 G's a fight. You know, he don't care about that." Anyways, with that being said, guys, go check that out, man. But first, go watch our Metamoris picks on YouTube. I think that'll be it for today, man. Let's wrap it up on a high note, and me laughing at Errol Hawani and his endeavors in the radio world.
Yeah,
I respect that dude. I try to get him on this show. People harass this man, hit him up. I think it'd be the ultimate interview.
Interviewing an interviewer.
Yeah, man, I really enjoy that type of stuff. To be honest, I've had the privilege to talk to Showdown Joe, and it was a great interview. He actually gave me some pointers that I've been using ever since.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, the guy's great. You know, these MMA has some of the best personalities covering the sport that I've ever seen. NFL's number one, hands down. NFL has the best people covering the sport, all past players and really good personalities and like characters. But MMA, man, we're up there. We're getting some really good people covering the sport, and I think even better soon, like you'll see some more people coming out of it and jumping back in and helping it out. I think it's only good things to come. So, Errol Hawani, I said it. I want you on our damn show. That's a threat. You better follow through on it. All right, man. So maybe me and him could create a whole scenario where I hang up on him. We stomp him out over the air somehow.
I don't know if you're shit.
Yeah. Errol, get the hell out of here. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. Tune in next week. We got Roy Dean. And, Jerry, you want to say it?
Let's do it.
Let's do
Hang
it.
tight, dudes.
Hang tight.